Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is one of the biggest stars in WWE history and one of the world's most recognizable and successful actors. He went from having his dreams of being an NFL player crushed by a devastating injury and being left with only $7 in his pocket, to becoming a movie star whose films have grossed over $10.5 billion internationally. And today we're going to learn his advice for how to value life. Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time!
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and every morning I bring you a shot of Entspresso to help you believe in yourself and start your day with confidence. So good morning, I believe in you, and let's do this. Over to you, Dwayne Johnson.
When I was 15, my dad was wrestling in Nashville, Tennessee. I moved with him, and when my mom finally arrived in Nashville, she had just driven all the way across country from California, and I knew that my parents were going through some really tough times in terms of their marriage, and that was a tough day. I'll never forget it. It was probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We were at a restaurant, the three of us, and they got into it. They got into a very big fight, not physical, but just really loud arguing. And my dad had a car at that time, and so they got into that car. My dad was driving, my mom was in the passenger seat, and I get in the car that my mom just drove, the family car, and I start driving it. I already had my license at that time at 15. And we're driving down I-65. I-65 is a major interstate that runs through Tennessee. And I'm watching them drive in front of me, and their car starts swerving, and I can clearly see that they are arguing. My old man makes a hard right, and he gets on the shoulder, and in the gravel road, my mom gets out of the car, and when she got out of the car, I'll never forget it, she had a glazed look over her eyes that I had never seen before. And she walks right into the middle of I-65 and continues to walk down into oncoming traffic, and my heart stopped. Horns were blowing, and cars were swerving out of the way. 18-wheelers were swerving out of the way. And I got out of the car, and I grabbed her and wrestled her over to the side of the road, and I don't remember what I said to her. I remember she didn't say a thing. And in that moment, one of the greatest lessons I've ever learned was how precious life is and how in an instant it can all go away. Changed me. The irony is, my mom has no idea that it even happened. That's the irony. That's also the beauty of it. She does not remember anything. Thank God, because maybe it's too traumatic to remember.
The scariest moment in my life was March 15, 2019, on my wife's birthday in Colorado, where I fainted, I broke my neck, got a concussion, a lot of uncertainty of what was happening. So the story is I was doing some research. I love biohacking, I love medical research, but I also have a weak stomach and I can't handle a lot of it. So vagal something. Anyway, I fainted. I've never fainted in my life. I felt this kind of queasy feeling, researching, and then I passed out. And I woke up in a pool of blood. I'm on the floor. My wife is crying above me. Now she's kind of happy because she didn't know if we were going to wake up or not. And she didn't know what happened. And I was dazed, I was confused. Paramedics came, and I'm starting to lose feeling in my arms and in my hands. And they think I'm having a heart attack. I get rushed to the hospital. We ultimately find out that I broke my neck in 2 spots, compressed my spine, had a concussion. And I was in the middle of a tour. You know, I was in the middle of doing 90 days, 23 cities. Everything was going great. And now this happens. And I had to wear this every day for 60 days. And I could take it off for 10 minutes a day to shower. So you do everything in it. You eat in it, you You sleep in it, everything. It's not the most comfortable thing, but this was my life, and I saved it as just a reminder of what happened and what I went through. My wife signed it. She says, "I love you. Get well soon. Hearts, Nina." And what I took from it wasn't that life is precious. You know, my wife thought that I may not wake up, but she was so grateful that I did. I didn't take from it that life is short and I need to make it count. I think through my habits, through my training, through just watching this content, through everything I do, I try to make that, I make today a priority. Like, today matters. I think you could train that into yourself without having to have a life-shaping moment. That if you are constantly surrounded by people who are pushing it, who are doing it, who are getting theirs, who are overcoming adversities, it reminds you that today matters, that you can do it too. What I learned the most from that traumatic event was that I do difficult things. And it's been one of the most powerful lessons that I've ever learned, is that I do difficult things. My agent asked me, when am I coming home? My family asked, when am I coming home? I still had a month on my tour. I said, I'm not. I'm gonna keep going as long as I can. And I made it through the whole thing. I might not have. I might have had to leave, you know, halfway through or even after the next stop. I remember the day I got released. We had this giant Suburban truck, and the day I got released, I wasn't able to drive, obviously. Now Nina would have to drive this giant Suburban truck, and she's kind of a little person, so driving a big truck was not what she signed up for this tour. But now she had a month of driving the truck, and I would have to be passengers because I couldn't move my neck, right? And I remember trying to get into the truck when I left the hospital, and I got one foot in, and then I couldn't lift myself into the car. I couldn't lift myself into the truck. My spine was hurting too much. I had my headache. I was super dizzy from the concussion, and I just couldn't get in. And Nina, my wife, was trying to push me, and she couldn't get me in either. I said, okay, let me try this again. But then I couldn't get out either. Putting weight forward or putting weight backwards was just too painful. And I just broke down and started crying. I was just so frustrated. I didn't know what to do next. I couldn't go forward. I couldn't go backwards. I'm in massive pain. Everything hurts. I just want to go home. I just don't want this to be happening. I just started crying. And I don't get overwhelmed by that kind of stuff easily. So that was a rare instance, and Nina didn't know what to do with me at that point. And that was probably the lowest low for me. It just that overwhelming feeling of frustration, and then canceling people and disappointing people. And that was the night of my show, so I obviously couldn't go and do my tour stop in Colorado because I was in the hospital. But going for the next 30 days, wearing this thing for another 30 days after, not going home, not making it easy on myself, sitting at the front. I would sit at the front of these rooms for the next 30 days for 4 hours, leading my session, answering questions with pillows behind my back, ice packs behind me, and just do my session. And was it as good as my initial sessions? Maybe not. Did I have as much energy or fire? Maybe not. But I felt amazing about myself for doing it. It's when you're proud of your effort. That's when I think it matters. And I think being able to go through something difficult and come out on the other side, if you can carry with you, not that this thing happened to you and now your life is over, but instead, I got through that. I'm a survivor. I'm a champion. I do difficult things. The reason why I kept this, one is because my friend Mark Drager said to keep it. I was gonna chuck it away because I'm not a super sentimental guy, but he said keep it. It's a good memento for what happened. I look at this. I keep it down there. You can't really see, but I keep it down here in my cabinet, and I see it when I walk in, and it's a reminder of all the pain and struggle that I went through. I mean, I couldn't even get changed to go to the bathroom by myself, and I went through that. And what it does is help put current day problems in perspective. I'm upset about what? That my YouTube numbers may not be as good today as they were yesterday. Now look at this. Like, that's what I went through. And so, again, more than appreciating the value of life and knowing that my life is short, I think I've trained that more in myself just from the habits and routines and the content and being around successful people who take their life seriously. I learned a great lesson in adversity and that I do difficult things. And so I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, I want to know, what's the adversity that you went through that you've grown stronger because of? Let me know. Pop that down in the comments below. And if you're still here watching and you promise to take action after watching this video, we don't just watch videos, we do something here, Believe Nation. Give me a hashtag Believe down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
By the time I was 31, I'd lost 11 different people close to me from separate tragedies.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I've been, dropped to my knees many times in life by grief. I mean, just, it's like unbearably painful. But I will say that, going through that, I always think there's a hidden blessing in everything that we go through in life. And one of the blessings was that facing my own mortality at a really young age had all these hidden gifts. I use mortality and sort of the insignificance of all of this in a positive way. It doesn't, just how temporary this all is to fuel me and to say, why would I ever not do this? What? Because I'm afraid that person's not going to remember me 5 minutes after I make a fool of myself anyway. Let's do this. We're all here for just a short period of time. So it freed me up in a way that I think most people in the natural course of life, maybe starts to think about in their 40s when they might lose a parent or a grandparent or something. So yeah, it really.
How do you get through a challenging loss like that? Like, what's your process?
Oh my gosh, one day at a time. I mean, it is just one day at a time.
If you want to learn how to have unstoppable confidence and self-love, check out my 254 series where every day I send you a video that will move your confidence forward for free. The links to join are in the description below.
My call time is at 7. Then you back your clock up 4 hours, and then that's when I get up. Be you. Be yourself. Whether it's in entertainment, whether it's out in public, whether you're a celebrity or not, whatever. And the most powerful thing you can be is yourself. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day before anybody else and grounding my thought process is in the no one will outwork me.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.